just love and grace for everyone, for everyone. Yeah, for everyone.
Thank you so much for coming up with me, guys. I have a really important question. How many of you like to help? Raise your hand if you like to help. What do you like to help to do? Do you like to help your mommy? Yes, you like to help your mommy. Did you guys bake cookies at Christmas time? Did you help bake cookies? Yeah? Who else likes to help? What do you like to help doing?
I like to help with taking care of my two little brothers.
You like to help with taking care of your two little brothers. That's awesome. And do you like to help too? What do you like to do to help?
Help little brother.
You would like to help with bad weather?
His little brother.
Oh, with your little brother. You like to help with your little brother too. That's awesome. So when you're a big helper, how does that make you feel? It makes you feel good? Awesome. Does it make you feel strong? Yeah, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel strong, right? And for how many of you is that true too? Do you feel good and strong when you help out too? What do you think? Yeah, I think we all feel that way. The cool thing about being big helpers is it helps us know that we're strong and that we're good when we're helping too. So let's go ahead and pray and say thank you to God for that. Loving God, thank you so much that every time we help out, that we get a little bit helped too. Thank you for feeling good and feeling strong and getting to help you to make the world a better place. Amen. Thanks so much, guys.
Someone said it's all the same from far away. You and me, we're stopping stars and dirt with eyes to see. I can lead you out too high. I can take you hand in hand. We are better together. We are the ocean tide. We can land and anchor. When we're together, we are better together. We are greater now. Together we are stronger. We are stronger. Sun is sun. Someone's heavy sparks that find the ways alive. There's a day, swallowing us in clouds with only grains of sand. Ocean falls and drops of rain. Everybody make us sing. We are better together. We are the ocean tide. We can land and anchor when we're together. We are better together. We are the day and night. Together we are stronger. We are stronger. We are better together. There is no way to hide. Victory and surrender. We are stronger. All together. Every black life matters, every woman matters, every soldier matters, all the refugees matter, every gay life matters, fundamentalists matter, kiss the life in all those
There are a couple more upcoming dates up here. Hope that you'll take note of them. And again, if anyone would like to help Colleen, there are a lot of things that she needs, everything from vacuum cleaners to linens. We will be sure that this list ends up in the Friday email this week so that you have access to that as well. And thank you all so much. I hope that you go out, as Colleen said, basking in that light. basking in that light of God's love and God's presence. Go out today knowing that you're loved by God. Alleluia. Amen. Time for the dance party. So tonight we're going to be talking about a very special project that we worked on here at Central this past week with some of our college students, but that Colleen McCaffrey has really been involved in for a long time, and part of the work that Ted Tolles has done among us. As we get started, we're going to be looking at Matthew 25. This is the story of the sheep and the goats, and there it is all together, a little small. But I wanted to concentrate on this part of the passage tonight, so I will read it for you. I'm going to skip down just a little bit just to tell you what's going on. The idea is that at the end of all things, that people come before us, and that there's some of us who are goats, and some of us who are sheep, the good people. And Jesus says to the sheep this: I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. I was naked, and you gave me clothing. I was sick, and you took care of me. I was in prison, and you visited me. And the people hearing this are a little bit confused. Then the righteous will answer him, Lord, when was it that we saw you hungry and gave you food, or thirsty and gave you something to drink? And Jesus answered, and when was it that we saw you a stranger and welcomed you, or naked and gave you clothing? And when was it that we saw you sick or in prison and visited you? And the king will answer them, truly I tell you, just as you did it to one of the least of these who are members of my family, you did it to me. This is the word of God for the people of God. So it tells us in this story that every time we do one of those acts of compassion for each other, every time we offer food, every time we visit someone who's sick or alone, that we're doing those things for Christ himself, which is pretty powerful stuff for us to think about. It's pretty heavy stuff. And so what I wanted you to think about tonight is a place where you have had that moment. You've had that moment of feeling close to God. Maybe it was a time when you were helping someone. Maybe it was a time when you saw a beautiful sunset. Maybe it was a time when you were looking in the face of your child. I want you to think about a moment where you felt close to God, where you felt like you saw God, and just hold it because we're going to hear about some work that we've been doing and how that's brought some people close to God too. Colleen McCaffrey, do you want to come on up? So Colleen has been working hard to help a family here in Summit. She's going to tell us a little bit about what she did. And it's really cool working with Colleen because she's one of these people who does such a good job of bringing a team together. And that's what's happened, really bringing together not only our Central community, but a lot of other people as well. So Colleen's going to give us a background and introduce the work we've been up to.
Sure. Thanks, Deborah, for letting me come and talk a little bit about what we've been up to. Certainly the last couple weeks, but for me, a little bit longer than that. First, but if anyone has the world's goods and sees her sister in need, yet closes her heart against her, how does God's love abide in her? That's 1 John 3:17, revised by me just a little bit. Anyway, Deborah asked me to spend a few minutes talking about this project that we've been working on. It involves a local family here in Summit. It was a project that came about came to my attention through my work with Bridges Outreach, which is a whole nother story, but it's an organization headquartered here in town that does a lot of work trying to prevent homelessness and to get people who are experiencing homelessness housed. So it turns out one of the social workers at the middle school gave our executive director at Bridges a call and said, I have a student, and the student has told me that he is afraid that his family is about to be evicted from their home. What can you do? Well, Bridges does a lot, but our main resources and case managers are located in Newark, where there's a huge and overwhelming need. Even though we're headquartered here, we don't often run into issues like this, and although we do open the doors at Bridges on Fridays for showers and food and clothing for local people from the community, we just don't have the same resources available to us here in Union County and Summit. So he calls me and he says, Colleen, what are we going to do? I don't have any resources for this. And I said, I don't either. I don't know. What do I do? So he gives me the number and I call her, the mom at this home, and I talk to her for a few minutes and I say, well, let me come over and see what the problem is. So I go to her house. She shows me her papers that she got from the Housing Authority, notifying her that she's supposed to leave the apartment by, I don't know, it was the end of October. We're already into the beginning of November. And she hasn't left. And I said, okay, don't leave. Let me see what we can do. And I understood, and I'm not going to go into all the facts that led to the Housing Authority wanting to evict her because that's less important. I did go speak that afternoon to someone at the Housing Authority. I didn't have much success in person. I followed up with a letter, got in touch with some of the Summit officials, city officials. The issue got their attention, and we were able to, at least temporarily, at that time in November, put off any eviction proceedings until at least after the new year, and hopefully not before the end of January. In the interim, one of the problems that the Housing Authority had with the situation with his family is that the mom is disabled. She is not able to move. When she does, it's with pain. Coincidentally, it's a back issue that I know a lot about because I have it, and I know how bad it can be. But she's really, uses a walker. She's got a 12-year-old boy she needs to take care of. She needs him to stay in Summit. They need to stay together. She's worried about the eviction. What do we do? Well, we have this put off. I see part of the problem is the Housing Authority is worried about her ability to maintain the apartment, keep it up, keep it habitable, continue to reside there, in their words, successfully. So having seen the apartment, I kind of knew what they were talking about. And I knew that the apartment needed to be rehabbed. It needed work. It needed to be cleaned. It needed to be decluttered. It needed really a professional cleaning. It needed to be painted. It was a lot of work, and it was more work than any one person could do, even if that person were healthy. So it didn't take me but 2 minutes to say, okay, well, let me reach out to the hands-on mission team at Central, and specifically a little subset group, which is Ted Toll's initiative called Helping Hands. And that group has been working on different small projects within the community. This is really an in-community service initiative. Unlike many things that we do here, we send youth out to different places in the country, outside of the country sometimes, to do this kind of work. But Ted's focus had been with Helping Hands to really meet up with those people and do the work that's around us, because the need is everywhere. It's not always far away. It's in this case right in our own backyards. So I put it out there. I say, any interest, team? And maybe there were a dozen or 15 people on this email list. The problem now is we're getting into Christmas season. Nobody's going to be around, and there was a lot of interest in helping, but people were like, I don't know, I'm going to be out of town, what do I do? Some people said, I can't be there, but I can help financially, or I can't be there, but maybe I can send, my sister-in-law, or, there was all kinds of help coming from a lot of different directions, and ultimately, what we had the Monday before Christmas was maybe a dozen or more people doing the initial clear out of this apartment. And that involved taking things to the dump. It involved bringing things to a laundromat because there were piles and piles, hundreds of pounds of clothing and linens that just had not been able to be attended to because Mom is not well. So anyway, we get this done on the Monday before Christmas, and then we schedule a professional cleaner to come in. Service comes in, they take care of like the really hard stuff, and then we get this bonus where our college youth trip that was supposed to go to Florida to do work in early January, this usually occurs when the kids are home from their college breaks. For reasons I don't know, it fell apart and they weren't able to go. So Deborah says, well, I think I have a team for you to finish the job. And so from the 2nd of January, which was a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we had something like over 20 people, 24, over the course of 3 days, come and paint and put this place back together in a way that it was amazing. It was such a transformation. And the weight that the mom, and I think the son too, this 12-year-old boy who lives there, her son, the weight I think that was lifted off of their shoulders from the darkness of this situation where, you could barely move from one room to another. It was really, really hard. And I think, for a while, for me, to be truthful, it felt like a little bit of a time suck. It was a lot of time trying to organize and get this done and make the right steps. But, when we were in it and doing it, it was such a beautiful thing. There were kids who were reunited from past mission trips who were working on this thing together. There were adults from within and without the Central community. It was amazing. And to see the gratefulness. This mom, would tear up. So very grateful. And she is the sweetest woman you could ever meet. So sweet. By the time I arrived on the last day, I walked in and the son, Bryce, comes over to me, unsolicited, great big bear hug. And he's like, how's it going? How's it going? And I'm like, I don't know. You tell me, how's it going? How does it look? And the transformation, I think, for those two people, for this family, has been phenomenal. Now, I want to say that my interest in service work goes back a long time. When I first joined Central, we used to take new member classes. And at the time, John Ilian was an associate pastor here, and he had a very strong interest in mission work. And I remember going on a mission trip early on to Costa Rica, and I said to him, John, what about stuff closer to home? Our kids, things our kids can do. And I don't know what the history had been with Central and all of this kind of mission with youth and all, but, you got to be careful what you ask for, because when we got back, he said, Colleen, I think you would be a good person to develop a relationship between Central and Bridges, because that was, an organization where, the little kids can make sandwiches, the big kids and the adults can go on runs and feed people who are in need, give clothing to people, who were living on the streets. So that was one thing that I wanted. When I went to that new members class, I said, one of the things I want from my church is service opportunities. It speaks to me. I don't know why. It does. It always has. And I tell you, yesterday, I was so giddy because this project had come to conclusion. And one of the things that happened at the very end, when I saw it all coming together, I said, okay, this is the time I'm going to write to the Housing Authority and I'm going to say, okay, things are coming along really well. She's doing great. The apartment looks great. We need a couple things. You know, the floor is probably 70 years old. I mean, these buildings date back from the late 60s. The floor really needs to be replaced, and the radiators don't work. They're falling off the wall. They use portable heaters. So I send a little note to the Housing Authority board, and I said, you know, can you help with this? And of course, I'm a little reluctant to do it because we're not completely in the clear on the eviction proceeding side. But I got a note, as soon as I left Tricia's place yesterday, I got a note back in response that said, go to the Housing Authority office on Monday, talk to Mr. Billy, ask him to put in an order for a new floor, new radiators, and I'll follow up with it from there. So in my mind, they're not putting in a new floor and new radiators for someone that's going to be leaving anytime soon. Not only that, they know that there is this tremendous community of support behind this family, and there's no way anyone would do anything to jeopardize her position in that apartment with the kind of support that we have mustered up here, and that's been super fabulous. So one thing I did want to just say is that there were a few things that happened along the way that some people might call coincidence, some people might call them God sightings. One of them was the fact that the college trip fell through. Another was the timing, that we actually were able to pull this thing off in the Christmas season, in the holiday season. I think it was quite not a coincidence necessarily, but that I know this woman's physical pain. I know what it is. So many more things in common I have with this woman and with that family than I ever thought. And I am excited for us to continue the relationship with this family. They want us in their lives, and they just had, they had almost no words for what we've been able to do there. So what I wanted to say also is that if you feel called in the same way, I really encourage you to act on it. There's no reason to wait, and there's no convenient time for it at all. It's never comfortable. It's difficult, and sometimes it's really ugly. But the things to be gained, the fellowship and the community, shared experiences, new friends, renewed friendships, lightness and brightness, and renewed hope. It's all part of God's plan, at least God's plan for me, and I am blessed to bask in that. So, thank you for your attention. I appreciate it.
We also have a short video to share from some of the participants on the trip, and you can hear a little bit more about their experience in their own words.
Is it good? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I'm Hunter Wyckoff. I saw the email a couple weeks ago, but thought I was busy with work, and then realized I had some free time today, so I decided to come and help out a little bit. We just did some cleanup today. That's really all I was here for. The painting looks great and everything. And a God sighting, I guess that everyone that was like on the Houston trip and prior trips happened to all be in Summit at the same time. Since everyone's like working now and everything, it seems hard to do, but yeah.
Hi, I'm Meredith. I think my God sighting and why I love doing mission trips is actually the connections I have with my friends. And I'm really happy to be back with everybody, my old squad. But I think something important I've been reminded of today is that when you think about helping other people, a lot of times you think about going far away, but I'm just around the corner from my house, and it's a really good reminder that there are ways to connect with your community that you might not be thinking of.
I'm Courtney. I go to Tulane University. I'm so excited to be here helping out a fellow Summit community member. It really helps me connect to my faith because I get to hang out with some of my best friends that I've known since I was younger, growing up in the church, and it's wonderful just to get us all together helping out.
Hello, My name's Betsy Phillips, and it's a great way to start off the new year helping other people. And when we didn't have the trip that worked out for Florida, my family decided we wanted to come and help people locally. And it's a real treat for me to also spend some time with the youth from our church and help someone in our community as well. Thanks.
Hello, I'm Ben Eichler. I think being here is a great way to start the new year, and my God sighting was getting to see Pastor Deborah for the first time in a while, so it was great to see her.
Hi, I'm Leslie Phillips, and today my God sighting was seeing the homeowner and how grateful she was.
What did she especially like?
The color. That's like everywhere, so it's good that she likes it.
Okay. Well, I personally think that it's better to start doing service work from where you are and like around in your community and then keep going, because I think there's so much that could be done in your own community that you don't even realize, and I think opening your eyes to things like that right around you is so much more impactful than sometimes going farther out where you're just going to a new place and you don't really know anything about it.
I think these trips really, projects that we do really create a sense of community, whether we've been to New Mexico, Arizona, we've been to Texas and North Carolina, but I feel like no matter where we go, we always have this great community. So when we go anywhere, regardless if it's in our backyard or across the country, we bring such a good energy that I think it helps for us to connect with the homeowners no matter where they are, which is nice.
Hi, I'm Barbara Casada, and something I always try to reinforce in my children is the idea of God's golden rule, love your neighbor as yourself, and the idea of doing for others and paying it forward. And so when the opportunity came up to do some painting and help somebody out, I thought, well, you gotta walk the walk and talk the talk. So here I am.
Hi, I'm Leslie. So I love these trips because I think it's just a really great experience to reconnect with old friends that we don't necessarily get to see all the time, but I also think that you just build so many great relationships with new people, and you really learn more about the world from meeting people that have a different lifestyle than you or have different experiences. And my God sighting is that we continue to get the same group of people together. This is my 7th or 8th year, and it's always a great group of people, and I'm so glad we bring new people into the fold too.
Hi, I'm Bruce Beyer. I'm helping out here because they needed help, but also my wife is affiliated with the church, and we enjoy helping other people, whether it's bringing clothes into New York and food into New York, or helping people who need help on their house. I felt as though just watching all of the younger volunteers here was a godsend for me. Just seeing that this generation is active and they want to help.
My name is Caroline Phillips, and I'm helping out today along with a bunch of other people. So far we've been painting, we've done the ceilings and walls, we've done cutting the edges. So I got here this morning and we've done a lot so far. And my God sighting is that it wasn't going to work out, that the group was going to be able to go to Florida, and I'm leaving soon to study abroad. So this project showing up was definitely a God sighting. Start the new year off helping out others and bond with the other people doing it too.
Hi, I'm Emily. It's been really fun helping out here. My God sighting is this color. It's really pretty, making this very light.
So Colleen encouraged us all to bask in that glow. And at the beginning of our talk tonight, I asked you to think about those moments, those places where you feel close and connected to God. I think that one of the things that happens when we serve other people, like it said in our passage, that can be a place where we can really connect to God. And I asked you to think about one of those times. I hope that as you come forward tonight, that you, as you come forward for communion, that you can kind of hold that idea with you and that connection with you, and that for the new year, you can find some places where you continue to connect with God, whether it's helping out with our project. There are lots of ways that you can help out here, and I can send this list out to you, or whether it's in another way. I hope that 2020 becomes a year where you can really experience God face to face. Thank you all so much.